Are you of around late 30s to early 40s? Are you finding lots of changes going on in your body and you don't quite know what the heck is going on? Or maybe you are wanting to support somebody that you know is going through perimenopause. Now, this is something that I have recently found myself going through, and if you're new here, I'm Lara. I've made videos here on YouTube for around 11 years, which is crazy, and I'm now 40 and I am beginning to notice a lot of changes going on in my body, in my hormones, in my life, and I'm like, what the heck is happening? And I have been looking for things like this YouTube video about what the perimenopause is, what to expect, how to know if you are perimenopausal. And I've not really found a huge amount of videos on YouTube or information. Yes, there's loads on menopause, but this bit in between that could last up to 10 years, it's very sort of shrouded for me personally going through it now in a lot of mystery. So if you are also feeling like something's changing and you don't know what's going on and you want to learn a little bit more, then I'm going to be talking through some signs of perimenopause, some ways that you may well find your body is changing, what you can do about it, how to recognize the signs, and hopefully just give you a bit of a validation to say, yes, this is happening and you're not going mad. So hopefully the video will be helpful to you. If you are new, then think about subscribing. I share lots of videos about women's health and lifestyle and travel and homemaking. So I'd love to have you here in this community. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So, first disclaimer, I am not a doctor. I don't have any medical experience. I don't have any qualifications to talk about this. This is my own experiences, but that's what I want. I want to find somebody that I can chat to woman, friend to friend, that gets it, that can understand maybe what they've gone through in the past, like a big sister chat, an auntie chat or something like that. So hopefully, as much as this isn't medical advice, then we can get the conversation started at the very least, because for me, I'm like, no one's talking about this and I feel really alone. So let's get into some of the signs that you may well be in perimenopause, and maybe you could feel comfortable sharing your signs in the comments below, because I know loads of you read the comments and it is really validating to know that you're not the only person going through this. So if you feel comfortable doing that, then do comment below. I've written my notes because we'll go through one of the symptoms, which is coming up. And forgetfulness is one of them, so I need to write it all down. These are obviously the weird and wonderful things, or not so wonderful things, that are happening to your body. The very first one, which may well be the first clue that you have into being perimenopausal, is that your periods will become irregular, heavier, lighter, last for longer, come in the middle of the month. This is something that I've definitely found happening in the last, I would say maybe year, and that is that my periods have become so irregular. Sometimes I'm halfway through the month and I will have another period, and I was like clockwork. I was one Saturday of every month it would come in the morning and I'd know it was coming, and now sometimes I'm waiting for it. you know you're the wrong side of your 30s when you no longer worry you're pregnant. You just think this is perimenopause because your period is so late. Sometimes it's early, sometimes they're so heavy for like 2 days and then it goes, when I'm normally like a 5-day cycle gal. So yes, if that is something that you've noticed, and that is one of the very first signs that your body is changing. The next big one, and I did put this out on my Instagram, which is Lara Jarvis, as it is across all the platforms, and that is weight gain. This was the one that most people said that they were finding they were getting, and I'm not talking about a few extra pounds at Christmas, or maybe you could just do an extra workout or eat a few less calories this week, and it sort of what was happening before, what you were doing before would help. It's something that is biological. Estrogen drops when you go into perimenopause, and this is the huge factor around weight gain, and it's like this middle area, like down there, and it's just like stubborn fat that it's much harder to get rid of. There are ways, of course, but middle-aged spread, it has a name for it, right? So it's something that is very common, and I almost feel like you are someone that wants to stay trim or a certain weight, and this comes along. It's not something necessarily in your control. Yes, you can do things to change it, but it's not, like I said before, like you can just sort of get rid of it like used to. So be gentle with yourself, be kind to yourself, give yourself some slack, give yourself some kindness, mother yourself, because yeah, this is a lot that your body is going through. So that is definitely one to expect if you haven't got it already. The next one is sleep deprivation, and this actually is a huge factor in other things as well, because sleep is so important for your body, for recovery, for rejuvenation, for healing. And some people, when they're in perimenopause and menopause, they cannot sleep, they can't get to sleep, they can't stay asleep, they sleep for less, they really are uncomfortable when they sleep, they might wake up with hot flashes or uncomfortable body pains or anything like that. And I've definitely noticed this where I'm really struggling to get to sleep, and I've always struggled to get to sleep, but I am finding that I'm really, yeah, it's just really difficult to sort of drift off. And I'm also waking a lot more in the night as well. So that's a lovely one to enjoy, because then that impacts lots of other things, because your body isn't healing and it's not being able to do its thing in the night. So then it's struggling with other things. So yeah, unfortunately, this is a big one. If you are enjoying the video, I would really love it if you'd like to stick around here for more videos from me. Subscribe to the channel and the community. We have a really lovely community here, and you can just take a peek in the comments and see how lovely everybody is here. And give the video a thumbs up if you are resonating with it, if it's helpful, if it's validating you, if it's giving you an insight to the future, if you're younger. I'd love to have you here again for another video. So yeah, do consider subscribing. Next one, I really have found this has been something in the last sort of 4 or 5 months, and I've never really suffered with it before, and that is anxiety. Other than anxiety after a hangover, after a night out, I do suffer with that a lot, really badly, and I often wake up at 3:30 in the morning and I'm ping, and I'm going through all the things that could have happened, like what's the word when you not dramatize, when you catastrophize something, and I'm thinking, did this happen? And it's so stupid, because I've literally been like with Stu on the sofa watching a film, and I wake up and your brain plays tricks on you. But this is anxiety that I'm getting throughout the day with silly little tasks. Like, for example, I was trying to book a flight, and I was looking at all the flight details, and I was looking at the bags, and I was like looking at the times, and I suddenly got this like rising feeling of anxiety in my chest. I get my anxiety in my chest like really physically, and it was pressing down on my chest, and I thought, oh my gosh, I've got to walk away. And I've had that quite a few times now over the smallest things, and it is purely hormonal. So give yourself a little bit of space and rest and self-care. If you're finding like this, get out, do some deep breathing, go and spend some time in nature, all of the things that you can find online for helping with anxiety. But just know that this is a big one for perimenopause symptoms. So the next one is brain fog, and this is something lots of you guys over on Instagram, when I asked about this, commented saying that you are just forgetting things and you can't remember your words, things that you would have known really easily before, and just that sort of like memory lapse and things like that. This is very normal. You can help it with increasing your oily fish intake, or just your omega-3 basically, to help with your cognitive processes. And I feel like, because I do YouTube for a job and I sit here and talk to you guys, and sometimes I can't remember my words, and it is not something I've ever suffered with before. So I'm definitely feeling this for myself. But there are things you can do, obviously, like really stretch your brain with things like even like Wordle or Sudoku or crosswords. Make sure you're having lots of really good conversations with people. Make sure you're talking to people if you do stay inside a lot, and make sure you're just like pushing your brain, because then it keeps it going. But also make sure you're relaxing your brain as well. Like having some time out. Meditation is incredible for this, to really sort of like shut your brain down, let your brain recover and like relax into things. And omega-3 as well, fatty oily fish if you can, or if you're vegan, there are some like algae oil or something like that you can get. So yeah, but do realise you are definitely not alone with this. And if you hear me in my videos and I'm like, oh, what's that word? That's the brain fog moment. I'm going to call it that from now on. Next one is dryness. Now, this can come in any area of your body that is, I'm going to say the word, guys, moist. I am suffering with this in my eyes a lot, because they're really dry, really itchy, really hot and scratchy. And I actually had an optician appointment, like a routine one, and she said that you should put some hot, like either cotton wool pads with water, and like just massage very, very gently, because there's oily sort of a film that goes on your eyes to keep them lubricated, and this can get clogged up and hardened, and basically you're just like trying to invigorate that, can't think of the word, to get it going again basically. So that's something that you may well suffer with. Obviously down below in your mouth, there's lots of areas that are meant to be moist that actually with the lowering in estrogen can be affected by this. So all very normal. There's lots of things you can buy. Just have a little Google for whichever symptom you're finding and see what you can buy to help with it. But yeah, that's something to bear in mind as well. Next one is something that lots of you got in touch with that I've never actually, well, to be fair, I have, but I've never had it before, so it must be part of perimenopause symptoms, and that is lack of confidence with things. And this could be as simple as getting in the car and driving down the motorway. It could be as simple as doing like a presentation to your work colleagues or public speaking, something that maybe you bossed in the past and you were really confident to do. This can actually be affected by perimenopause, which is wild. Like, how can it affect our confidence? But this is a definite one that can, it's something to do with the amygdala and the way that the chemicals are processed and imbalanced, and it's a whole thing. So if you're finding suddenly, and I get this, like I've always been really confident with speaking in public and doing panels and doing like standing up in a conference and talking to people, and recently I've been getting like this sort of like, I know I'm about to speak, I'm getting really nervous, I can't do it. And I've never been like that before, but it's sort of like that energy that actually you can use to drive you forward, get outside your comfort zone. I was always the really confident one that my friends would say, you know, like go and ask for this if we wanted something at a restaurant and they wanted, I don't know, like a new menu or something like that, or if something wasn't right or if the meal was wrong, and they'd be like, Lara, go and ask for this, just because I was the confident one and I was happy to do it. But I do definitely notice now that I'm feeling a little bit more anxious about things when I have to do it. I'm like, my heartbeat's going, but you just sort of push forward. But yeah, that's definitely one that I've struggled with. I've just moved my camera because I sneezed and I had to turn the camera off. So I'm going to just read through some of the things, I've taken screenshots, so some of the things that I have been sent through from you guys on Instagram, and do let us know in the comments, because I just personally think sharing is caring with this sort of stuff. How are we meant to understand what's going on in our body if it's brand new to us and there's not really like accessible information? This video may well flop on my channel for my regular audience because they may not be interested in this, but if you're finding this video helpful and you are getting something from it, then that's just all that's my mission is accomplished, because that's all I want from this, to help other people. So let me just really quick fire now some of the things that people are finding. So pelvics, I mentioned this on my stories. This is like when I'm trying to run, I need to wear like a pad or period pants or something like that, because there's nothing keeping the wee-wee in, let's say that. So that's something I need to work on, pelvic strength. Oh, someone said, I'm fair-ish, but I've noticed some dark hairs on my upper lip last night. Someone's written, I'm out the other side if you want some questions answered. Lots of my audience are older, so I love the wisdom here, and please do comment below with all of your wisdom. Horrific period pains and dry skin. Now dry skin's another one with the moisture in your body where everything is changing. That's another big one. So lots of like really gently moisturizing products would be good, and things like hyaluronic acid, just to get that sort of like dewy skin, lots of moisturizer and things like that. Constipation is apparently one someone's suffering with. The struggle to lose weight. I'm 41 now and have struggled over the last 4 years to lose weight. Periods went mental at one point. I couldn't leave the house. Insomnia, low moods, no libido. That's a new one. Creepy, restless legs. Weight gain and others I can't remember. I'm 44 years old and have been struggling for years. I thought I was going mad, diagnosed perimenopausal. As always, it's important to say, do visit your doctor if you're worried about anything, and try and get them to sort of like go through this with you and go through your options as well. And also don't let them fob you off, because this is a big deal to people and it can really affect us. Sudden mood changes, that's a big one. Tiredness, aches and pains, hair thinning. I could go on. I didn't talk about the hair thinning. Okay, so let me just quickly say, I've never been one for a good solid hairline. I mean, I think this might all be, no, it can't be because it's dyed. My hairline is not a good one. I've never had a good hairline. Look, but I was really worried that that was going bald. I was really freaking out. And that's when I really started understanding that this is all probably perimenopausal stuff. So I've been doing hair vitamins, posh shampoo and a spray thing just to try and encourage it growing. And obviously it's really, really long, but it's the density of it. We've got a dog going by. I can't drink more than 1 glass of wine without feeling it the next day, so no more for me. That's another one as well. Should we let the dogs go by? Alcohol is a neurotoxic, which means obviously it's affecting our brains, so definitely moderate your consumption. Weight gain, dry skin, ever so moody and irritable. Another one for being moody and irritable. That's all hormonal, you know, like imagine your period week, the week before, and it's a struggle, right? Imagine that all the time with loads of new stuff as well. Forgetting words, that's a big one I keep finding myself. Lack of sleep and major hot sweats. I'm 44, also fuzzy mind sometimes. Brain fog is horrendous. Irritable, usually in her husband's direction. Nails are brittle. Hair falling out, luckily through it now. Period stopped, age 58. So if you are now in your late 30s and you are thinking your menopause might be coming through in your 50s, this is over 10 years of this. So we have to get to know our bodies and understand, so that give ourselves the grace to get through it, and supporting ourselves, the self-care that we deserve, the rest, the relaxation. Rest is productive, so don't feel guilty for giving yourself that. I'm 48, I leak all the time. I leak all the time. Oh, I wonder where from. Oh, maybe wheeze. Oh, because this was a story about weeing when I was running, or like leaking. Hot sweats, itchy skin, hives, different odours, mood swings and more. Wow, loads. Okay, longer periods, food allergies, sudden food allergies, receding gums, another big one, massive change in hair condition, lack of concentration, eczema around the face, gut, that's about that moisture again, gut mobility changes, obviously we know I struggle with my gut, weight gain, mood changes, post-periods, POST periods, I don't know what that means. It's maybe an acronym. Periods getting heavier and longer. Vertigo, I suffer with that anyway, and body aches. I mean, there are so many here that you guys have shared with me. Skin is so bad. Periods are shorter but longer, and the pain after they're gone. Night sweats central over here. Dry skin too. Periods. Waking up in the nights. Hair loss. Aging seems to have sped up and was having night sweats. So I won't carry on with those, but as you can see, you are not alone. If you are feeling any of these, please know you're not alone. If you want me to do any more videos on this topic, or any more women's health videos, supplement videos, how I'm trying to avoid or sort of like work with my body as much as possible through the perimenopause, then let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to make those for you. And if you enjoyed the video, do give it a big thumbs up for me so I know that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being here and watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Take care, bye.